OK, good stuff. Activists held up a banner calling for trans kids to carry guns in shocking scenes in central London yesterday. Trans activists wearing masks were in Hyde Park, where the women's rights group Let Women Speak event was taking place. Police officers detained a number of people after a rival group clashed with them. And viewers can see the banner that simply says, "Arm trans kids." And what is also fascinating is that they'll come out with something like that, but they're covering their faces. They've got umbrellas covering their faces, balaclavas on and all of that stuff. And they look like a really tin pot group of those Roman soldiers who used to do that defence mechanism with their shields, didn't they? I mean, good grief. There's a police officer stood just a few yards away. Classic. Does absolutely naff all. Founder of Standing for Women, Kellie-Jay Keen, who was leading the event yesterday, joins me now, one of my favourite guests on this particular show. Thank you very much, Kelly. What do you make of people coming out like that and saying we should arm trans kids?
Well, I think it's quite a preposterous sign, but it's not really a surprise. My events are now always protested. So my event is all about letting women speak. You know, that terrible, terrible thing that women would like to do when we want to discuss our rights. We want to speak in public, and they turn up to try and stop us stop us talking. And they come and they're aggressive. And their voices are often very male, which is a bizarre coincidence because they're all men.
Yeah.
Well, they're not all men. Let me not be unfair to the women that also come and shout at older women. And it's preposterous. Yes, yesterday, one of their chants was trans rights and women's rights, same struggle, same fight, which I thought was quite funny because it was a chorus of male voices screaming and shouting at women about what our rights should be. So... Yeah, it's part of a theme.
Okay.
They're aggressive, they're intimidating, and they come to try and stop us talking. So,
I had Peter Tatchell on earlier. He told me that this is a vocal minority that does not represent mainstream views. But it does seem to be everywhere you go, though, Kelly, doesn't it?
It's certainly everywhere I go. I don't know if that's a coincidence or whether they just hang around in spaces trying to stop all women from talking. But look, they're in government. This whole thing is very coercive. It's really manipulative and it's dishonest. So the reason these young people are emboldened to come out is because the police have been captured. So, you know, the face of it, these sort of people at the bottom of the pond, if you like, these people that come out to scream and shout at women, they are really the bottom of the ladder. And at the top of the ladder are people in government who've just let this happen. We're teaching it in schools. A lot of these kids are really confused. You'll genuinely hear young people think that sex change is possible, that actually what's inside your head and how you feel about who you might be is more important than your biology. So whilst these are the sort of the face of it, if you like, we know that there is this terrible covert operation that's happened that's captured all of our institutions. So everywhere you'd expect a responsible person to step in and condemn this sort of behaviour, they're simply not doing it. But I will say yesterday, the Metropolitan Police did their job really well for the second time in a row, which meant that other women felt that they were safe enough to come out and speak, despite the fact that we knew that we were going to be met with a mob.
Who does it fall on, do you think, to sort this out? Because I think, in my view, it's going to have to be women of a certain age, and women of a certain age who are not working in our public sector or our schools or anything like that, because they'll probably just get cancelled straight away. I don't think you can be a teacher and have your views, unfortunately, at the moment, because you probably get biffed out by some younger teachers. So who has to save us from this lunacy?
Well, Patrick, I think it's me. Look, you say a woman of a certain age.
I wasn't referring to you in that sense, Kelly.
25 years old. I've just had a hard life.
I certainly wasn't referring to you.
No, look, I think you're right. It's women we're past caring. We've had a whole lifetime of it. Most of us are past caring. We're not easily intimidated. Once we've had enough, there really is nothing that you can do to stop us from continuing and speaking. But Yes, I mean, I saw my MP, 2015, and I said to him, you're paid to represent me in Parliament. If not you. And he said, well, I think it's you, Mrs. Keen. I was like, oh, okay, well, I'm just a stay-at-home mother. But yes, I think eventually
Well,
I think
not
the
anymore,
answer
you're not.
is me,
You're a
but
hero
the
for-
solution is government.
You're a hero for a
Maybe
lot
the two
of
things will
people.
combine.
Can I just ask you again, I want to reiterate, because this always, absolutely, I found this hilarious when the J.K. Rowling thing kicked off, and then people actually look at what she actually said and realise that there's nothing wrong with that at all. I think it might be worth just reminding people what your actual core mission here is, because there's nothing really wrong with that either, is there? So what is it?
Well, it's a scandal, because I think a woman is an adult human female. And we shouldn't transition children. I mean, I say at the end of no woman has a penis, no man has a vagina. Non-binary is nonsense, and transitioning children is profound abuse.
Right. Thank you very much, Kelly, for clearing that up. It was great to have you on the show, as ever, and take care, look after yourself. It's Kellie-Jay Keen there, who was leading the event yesterday, leads many events like it, and has got shoulders that just take all of the brunt of all of this. I absolutely take my hat off to Kelly every single time that she's on, so thank you very, very much.